Welcome to Education, Leadership, and Beyond, Surviving and Thriving. I want to welcome everyone to the program and happy Wednesday to you. Thanks for tuning in. Our live viewing audience here on our social media platforms. Proud member of the Education Podcast Network, Voice Ed Radio Canada, wherever you are taking in your podcast. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for being part of the show. Tonight, we are going to meet Salvatore Manzi. Salvatore has a very interesting background, has lived literally around the world, multiple places, but he's a communications expert. And he wrote a book recently, very cool. It is out there, clear and compelling, about communication, about strategies to effectively communicate, whether you're extroverted or introverted, and we'll get into that a little bit tonight. But congratulations to Salvatore on the new book, and we will meet him shortly. Definitely check out his website, salvatoremanzi.com. Am I getting that right? Yes, Salvatore, yeah. But before we begin, a word from our sponsor, IXL. Many of our educator friends use IXL. If you haven't heard of it, definitely take a listen here. Great with data, great with getting assessments of your students, and here they are.
I'd like to thank IXL for sponsoring today's podcast. Over 1 million teachers use IXL in their classroom every day. IXL is the most widely used online learning and teaching platform K through 12. It empowers schools with complete curriculum, thousands of instructional resources, robust reporting, assessment data, and more. It saves teachers a lot of valuable time with ready-made plans aligned to the standards and the textbooks. Built-in engagement tools like custom competitions make learning fun for students. And IXL's diagnostic is research proven to be a strong predictor of performance on standardized assessments. And the best part, everything I just mentioned is all integrated into one platform, so you can simplify your EdTech tools. Visit IXL.com to lead your students towards data-driven excellence today. The link is in the show notes. And again, appreciate IXL sponsoring today's podcast.
All right. Thank you, IXL, for sponsoring it. Click on their link in the show notes to get more information. Let's get started. We're going to meet Salvatore in just a moment, but the opening concept, my latest book came out this week. Here it is, The Magic Acronyms, Formulas, and Impactful Stories of Leadership. A tribute to my man, Dr. Rob Gilbert. It is doing really well. I'm thrilled with it. And more importantly, Dr. Gilbert is happy with it. He's proud of it. He really likes it. If you're not a hotline caller, Salvatore is going to be a new hotline caller, 973-743-4690. The call on the hotline changed my life. If you don't know what it is a 3-minute message about success. And Dr. Gilbert has been leaving those messages. Yes, leaving those messages since 1992. That is a long time. 12,700 he's up to, Salvatore. So incredible. So one of the acronyms here, the triple F's, right? When I hear the F word, I'm a Staten Island guy. I'm thinking it's a curse word, but 3 F's, right? So Dr. Gilbert has that. That's in the book here, chapter page 103. Success leaves clues, right? And successful people leave those clues, right? There's a roadmap there. So number 1, find that person. F, find who that person is that is doing what you want to do. Salvatore is a communication expert, right? In whether it's audible, whether it's speeches, whether it's face-to-face communications expert. So I found Salvatore, right? We're going to talk to him tonight. Number 2, the second F, find out what their strategies are, right? Salvatore is going to share some of those on the podcast. And that's why I love the podcast so much, because I get to meet all these great people. And then the third one, follow it is what they are doing. Follow them on social media. Follow their blogs. Follow their website. Follow them, right? If you're a fan of the music, right? You're following them to different concerts. If you're a fan of the sports team, you are following them on TV in their games. Well, follow it is what that person is doing that you want to do. So number one, find the person. Number two, find out what it is they're doing. And number three, follow. The 3 F's, one of the magic acronyms in the book here. So check that out. Enough of me chit-chatting. Let's welcome in from California, Salvatore. Welcome to Education Leadership Beyond, my friend.
It's great to be here, man. Thank you.
Yeah, happy to have you. And congratulations on your book, my friend. Clear and Compelling. It's out 3 weeks now, Salvatore. Is that right?
3 weeks on the bookshelves. It's quite a momentous time. Here we are.
Congratulations. How does it feel for you to see that book out there, see that the page that you designed there with your name on it? How does that feel for you?
It is pretty surreal. You know, when I sat down to write it, I didn't know how long it would take. And the writing was fun, putting all of 20 years of coaching and research into neuroscience and psychology around how people communicate, putting that into one book was fun. It was getting it formatted and proofread 7 times, getting it into a book form, getting it onto all of the anti-realtors, and now it's been picked up by a New York publisher, and they're going to take it even broader in distribution, which is pretty exciting. It's been, yeah, thank you. It's a pretty exciting thing to watch right now.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the program, Salvatore. Give a quick introduction. We'll certainly get to know you during the show, but who is Salvatore Manzi?
Well, chocolate addict. We want to focus on that. I help technically driven leaders, analysts, scientists, people that are around data. I help them turn the complexity into clarity for their listeners. You know, a lot of my clients are trying to communicate a really great vision that's in their head, but to people that don't quite get the data, those zeros and ones. And so I provide strategies and frameworks to help them shape that communication, and then strategies on how to show up and project a presence that causes people to lean in and want to hear more. And I help them really just get there to create influence and to have impact with what they're doing.
Awesome. What a cool niche. How did you know that was even a thing? How did you did you see the nerdy scientists sharing the data and you're like, this guy's terrible? How did you know this niche?
Full on. My father spoke at conferences, and he would come home so lit up from the experience. He's like, I love talking. This is what happened. These people, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I want to do that when I grow up. And when I got on stage, my first time on stage, my voice started to pitch so high that I lost my voice. I completely lost my voice. I'm standing on stage, I'm mouthing words, not making any sense. I walked off in shame, and it kind of sparked a curiosity. So I was like, why did my body betray me? What is going on with the physiology here? What's going on in my brain? I started studying neuroscience. I started studying psychology, organizational behavior. I realized that as an introvert, I don't crave the spotlight. And then when I'm in it, I have a different response. I think differently. How do I communicate with others? And I did not know this was a career, but the more I started doing it, the more other people wanted to know how I was doing it. Then I started teaching communications, and then started working one-on-one with leaders. And here we are 20 years later. I get to work with some pretty awesome leaders that are preparing some pretty impactful moments of our lives, actually.
Wow. That is fascinating, Salvatore. Very, very cool. I took from your website here, it says, I help big thinkers be bold leaders through clear and compelling communication. So you mentioned it, strategies, the coaching. Do you watch them first and then coach them up? Do you watch a video of them? Do you make them present in front of you? How do you do that?
How would I well, first of all, anybody that's out there listening right now, there's got to be a moment where you left an engagement saying, oh, I wish I had said, right? And that's usually the moment where we start thinking, how can I get my voice in there? How can I be more compelling? How can I be more concise? Whatever it is, those are the moments where we start to find ways to be better communicators. When I'm working with somebody, typically, I would love to see them present, but after so many years, within the first 15 minutes, I can pick up a lot of the nuances of the way they're communicating, and then I can start shaping where we can lean in. It's not usually a big lift, but there's 3 things to think about. Here, I'll break it down. First is your content. This is your brilliant ideas. How are you organizing it? And is it organized in a way that the brain thinks so that your listeners can actually follow it, right? How are you delivering your content? Are you using the multimodal communication tool that you have in your body, your voice, your eyes, your hands, all of that? And third, what are the experiences and beliefs that are driving the way you show up? What is it that you believe about the context of that situation, the people that you're meeting with, the topic, that environment? People, I'm really good one-on-one, but when I get in front of a group, I close down, right? There's a context that provokes a certain response. And this is where the real work is. So we can train in frameworks for your content, techniques for your delivery, but it's the strategies about your presence that really make the difference in a person's life.
Yeah. You've mentioned the word presence multiple times, Salvatore. I'm a big fan of Amy Cuddy, her TED Talk, her book. How important is that in it? You got a scientist, he's got the cure for cancer. He's going to give up there and give the speech. Does he have to have presence? How important is that in the delivery there of the
This from a person who is bringing so much energy to the camera, to the voice. You've got sound effects. How important is presence? Here's the thing. People have a very short attention span, right?
Yes.
They say like 6 seconds, 7 seconds. The truth is, research shows if you have been speaking about something for more than 3 minutes, you've lost your audience. If you're not doing something to break up that pattern, some sort of pattern disruption after the 3 to 5 minute mark, it doesn't matter how interested they are in the subject or how interested they are in you. After 3 to 5 minutes, their mind is starting to make a grocery list. They're thinking about that person they didn't call. There's a art to engagement. And your presence is what determines that level of engagement to begin with, and if they continue engaging with you. The most brilliant person with a cure to that thing that you've been waiting to hear will put you to sleep if they're not engaging you, if they don't have a compelling presence when they're trying to present it.
Awesome points there. Friend, this is Salvatore Manzi, currently in California, has lived around the country, around the world. Jump in the chat, ask a question, say hello, let us know where you're watching from. Salvatore, you mentioned about the belief in the experience, right? And those are our stories. I'm a storyteller. I've learned about speaking and TED Talks, stories. And I grew up in a big Italian family. Your name is halfway got you on the program here. I love it. But I believe in stories. I believe facts tell and stories sell. So talk to me about the storytelling aspect of maybe somebody who's like introverted, and maybe do I add a story to this dry content that I had to deliver? Is that part of how you coach people up as well?
100%. Metaphors move minds. If you're able to connect your data to something visual and emotional, your data is going to stick, period. And that's what stories do. Stories bypass the logic and rational part of our brains to go right into our imagination. And it creates a lived experience and a shared emotional experience with the speaker. And in that experience, there is a more willingness to listen and understand and relate to the topic. So stories are really the foundation of information sharing. You get 2 technical people together, they're going to talk in zeros and ones to each other like 2 little computers, and they're going to be happy as clam, right? It's great. I love watching this happen. When that CTO needs to convince the chief marketing officer to spend some money, they can't speak in zeros and ones. They have to code switch. They have to start speaking in stories and things that the marketing and other people can do. So developing your ability to tell stories is critical If you want your information to go beyond just data points and bullets that people are going to forget a couple of days later, they will never forget the story that you put with that data point.
I love it. I love it. Well said there, Salvatore. You mentioned the first time you got up there and spoke, your voice, So I used to referee, Salvatore, and the refs used to say, hey, man, he did good in the practice. Hey, he did good in the tryout, but everyone says, how are they going to be when the bright lights come on, Salvatore? How are they going to be when the bright lights? So how do you coach that client up, right? How does that principal in a school who's practiced their faculty meeting so much, but then when they get out there, they're in the pit, 200 people are looking at them. Now their body is, you've coached them up, but now the bright lights are on. How do you respond to that?
I love that you're bringing this up, and anybody that has ever practiced solo and then gone out and got in front of the Klieg lights knows that is real. Your physiology is going to cause a amygdala hijack, right? all those people staring at you, as well as all the energy. It's number one is reframe the rush. Reframe the rush. Your body is giving you a huge rush of energy, and you have the choice. You can determine that is fun or this is fear. If you get on a roller coaster, when you start going down, your body is going through something, and your brain is going to interpret this is fun or this is scary. Which is it? So reframe the rush. Convince yourself that, hey, it's not fear. This is excitement. I'm excited to share. I care about what I'm saying. All of that, but here's what I do with my clients, because you're asking, and I'll just give away my best tip for those people that have to do this kind of thing is don't just simply rehearse in the mirror or rehearse in a camera or rehearse in front of one person. Do 20 jumping jacks. Do 15 squats. Do the full jumping jack and squat. I forget what it's called. Kill me now. What is it called when you do the
burpee?
Burpees, I hate them. Do 10 burpees, then deliver your presentation. Because in a cool and calm voice, then you're getting your body into the physical state that you'll be in on that stage, and you'll be able to have a learned experience, a muscle memory of okay, I've had this experience before. I know how to manage my surge of energy and deliver this line with confidence. That's how you do it.
That's a great answer there, Salvatore, to a very difficult situation. And when I was reffing or speaking, right? I'm nervous. I don't want to be nervous, right? And then my mentor, my guy, Dr. Gilbert, told me, Andrew, it's normal to be nervous. That's normal. So don't think it's abnormal. That's okay. It's just, how do you feed that? How do you redirect that? I love how you said reframe. So you're spot on.
Reframe the rush. Yeah, it's totally normal. I mean, if you're not getting a little bit of energy surge before you talk, there's something maybe a little bit off. Maybe you're looking to narcissist support groups or something, if you're not already.
Well, Salvatore, with all the work you're doing, again, congratulations on the book. Tell me about the idea to write the book, and then there's a lot of educators out there that watch the show. Andrew, how do you write it? Tell me about the process. So tell me, number one, the inspiration or the idea to say, hey man, let me do this. Let's start there. Where did that come from for you?
I have been doing communication coaching for almost 20 years. And in that time, I've worked with lots of different curriculums, and I've studied a lot of different formats. And I have a 6-module training program that I take people through, and I wanted to have something that could offer them. But moreover, my goal is to empower anybody out there that feels like they don't always have a voice in the room. This is a book of strategies that'll help you start exercising that voice, start speaking up in meetings, start leading meetings. And it is broken into the 3 parts. I give frameworks for your content, techniques for your delivery, and strategies for the way you're showing up. And if I could, I'd love to just share one that I find happens a lot, especially in education. Because educators, I'm not the same level of educators as most of the people in the audience, but I do teach communication. Education involves connection with the audience. And I think educators are really prone at empathy, reading the room, and being able to like move with that. Although it can become too much at times, where we start over rotating to like adjusting what we're doing based on the mood of the room. And then we have to find this place of like control versus giving information, authoritarian versus, and I call it anywhere from relational to agency. Where on that continuum do you have a default set to? We all have a default set to move more towards relational or more towards agency. And a lot of us were conditioned growing up onto how we are supposed to behave in different situations. Now, anybody that's listening knows that you know how to sit at a throne and own the room, and you know how to sit at the kindergarten table and relate to everybody there. Depending on the context of the situation is how you show up. But because most of us have been conditioned to default one way or the other, we sometimes miss the moment. And instead of moving towards an agency, we adopt more of a relational. And we miss an opportunity to really make impact with our words and the way that we are delivering. So I kind of look at it this way. What are you doing with your body? What are you doing with your voice? And how are you presenting? Space, stillness, and silence. Are you taking up space? Are you filling the full, you mentioned Amy Cubby. Are you putting the arms on out here, the elbows out, hands on the hips? Are you taking up space? Or are you making yourself small, very easy accessible? Do you have your head tilted? Do you have your hand by your face? This is relational. It makes people feel comfortable to talk to you. This is more agency, where you are showing that you have agency and you're taking control. Silence, the more comfortable you are with silence, the more agency you project. More on the relational is going to be lots of words, I'm going to use a lot of filler words, and maybe you're off, and like I'll use all this to make you feel more comfortable. Agency, short, concise, with a lot of pauses, right? So space, silence, these are key things to look at. How are you showing up on that scale from relational to agency, and determining how you want to show up as an educator in that moment. Maybe in front of your classroom, it's one way, maybe in front of the board, it's another. But I would challenge anybody listening, watch what happens when you get in front of that one person that is somewhat intimidating, or in that one setting that feels somewhat intimidating. Watch what your natural behavior is, and see if you can choose the opposite, to take up more space or silence or stillness. That was a lot. That was a big download. Oh, you're too kind. You're too kind. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. No, really, I like it.
You got into it was like the body language of the words, right? I mean, I learned as a referee, again, the body language, 55% of it is communication is body language, but I love how you related it to the power of the words. Yeah, awesome.
I love the 55. Dr. Moravian study breaks down communication. The way that we understand and glean information from each other is determined by words, tone of voice, and body language. And as you said, 55% of our communication is the body language. Half of that is your face. We are reading the facial expressions on other people as a prediction indicator. This is why virtual is so hard for everybody. We were getting prediction errors, causing Zoom fatigue, because our brains weren't able to adapt and understand and predict what the other person was communicating the same way we were used to in the full body. Communication is multimodal. It's not just your words. In fact, the words themselves are the smallest portion.
That's right, 8%. 8% for sure. Salvatore, this is fascinating. I love it. I love the topic. And my wife in the other room is a queen introvert, so she will also be intrigued here. But I love that you shared, you did a comedy routine.
Oh God.
And you did great the first time, but the second time it bombed there. What have you learned from failure? And what do you tell your clients when they have a terrible speech or something? What have you learned from failure?
I tell everybody that if you're not falling on your face, you're not going far enough, right? You need to go out there and do at least one thing that scares you in every talk that you have. If you're doing the same talk over and over, do it one time in a different way. Try something new and just see how it lands. It's going to fail sometimes. I failed so miserably. And that stand up. So my goal in understanding my own introversion and communication better is I went to improv class. I went to an acting class. I went to a voice class. I went to a stand-up comedy class. And at the end of stand-up comedy, we had to do this 5-minute set. I was solid. It was the best in class. I got a standing ovation. And I was like, I'm on fire. And someone came up and said, will you come to my stand-up comedy club and do this? And I'm like, I will do it. Solid. And I went to that next comedy club and I did the same 5 minutes and it bombed. I mean, it was nada. It was nada. Nobody was smiling. They were all looking at me like, what is this? It was so bad. And that's when I learned, know your audience.
Yeah.
Same material doesn't work with another audience, right? And it was good for me to like go down in flames and be like, okay. And I did go back one more time. I went to another stand-up because I just wanted to not let that be my last memory. So I did one more stand-up routine on a totally different topic. It was good enough for me to be like, okay, check that box and keep going. But anybody that's out there, 2 things I would say about failure. Number one, it's the mindset, right? Carol Dwight mindset. Like, are you of the growth mindset or fixed mindset? Fixed mindset tells me if I make a mistake, I just can't do it. I'm not meant to do this, period. Growth mindset, every mistake is an iteration. It's an opportunity for me to keep getting better at this. And I want to keep doing it. Second thing is talk about your failures. But don't just give them the failure, give them the lesson learned. What did you learn from it? That's the aha. A lot of people are afraid to ask their team or ask their students to share a failure that you had this week because we don't want to turn this into a pity party, right? Or we don't want it to be a downer. But the idea is to share the failure as a context, but the real idea is to get to what they learned. What was the lesson learned from that? When you end on that, it's always going to keep the energy moving and keeps people inspired.
Yeah. Friends, Salvatore Manzi, his website is in the chat there. You can get the book there. You can learn about his coaching and certainly the speaking himself. Salvatore, when you have to give a speech, how do you best prepare? What do you do? Are you an index card? Are you rereading your slides? How do you prepare to do it?
I kind of want to ask you this because I've watched a couple of videos of you on your website. You're all over the stage. You're out up in the audience. You're taking that. You're very interactive. Like, let me ask you, what is your go-to when you have a big presentation or talk that you've been invited to do? What is your preparation and how do you make it happen without a bunch or with a bunch of cards? What is it?
Yeah, great. Thank you. Great. Well, and I selfishly, I wanted to learn. But so one of the things I found, I get going in the stories. You could tell I'm very animated. I love the stories. But I've been to a conference where I'm done at 9 and the next session is at 9:05 or 9:10. Like dinner is at 6. Like you don't go to 6:01 because they're going to be walking out of the room. Like. So one of the things I've been doing, literally, I have my slides, right? I have my slides, and then I am writing. Okay, this slide's going to take 2 minutes. This slide's going to take 3 minutes. This slide's going to take 4 minutes, and I literally add them up. I've been doing that, and then say, you know what? Last speech, I really want to expand on this story, or last speech, So that is something I've been doing. And then I kind of talk it out. I have my timer, right? Because I want to be on time. This is a little tool I have. I want to be on time to make it flow, to make it work. If they say you got a 55-minute keynote, I want to be 52 minutes, because then I want to say, hey, Salvatore, what's something that resonated with you? What is something that you remember? And now you're saying, Andrew, I loved when you da 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 da. So not only do I want to be on time, I actually want to shave some time to create some dialogue, right? The best comedians are playing off the crowd a little bit too there. So that's something I've been working on.
I love all of this. I think there's a lot of gold to giving yourself a buffer before the time limit, and never stand between your audience and food. It just, no, you do not want to. If they're going to lunch after your talk, you need to cut it short. Otherwise, they will not like you or anything you had to say.
Agreed.
I like the way you time it, and then you go back and check. I would offer that iteration brings concision, but it brings clarity. What were the parts of the stories that landed most with people? And that's where you get to fine tune every time. First time you tell a story, it's going to be a lot longer, more verbose, have a lot of details that isn't necessary for the end product. So tell it 2 or 3 times before you get onto a stage, before you do so. Yeah. I personally, I don't use notes. What I do is I'm a visual learner, and I can mark my content visually on the stage. So I use anchors, meaning like if you are in a virtual, I'd say we're going to talk about content, delivery, and presence. I don't need to remember anything else, because every time I put my hand here, it visually reminds me of what I'm talking about in that way. While I'm on a stage, I'll stand in 3 different places.
Okay.
When I moved to the second place, I can't even tell you, Andrew, the number of times I've gone from, and my second point is, I have no idea what my, oh, I remember. I get into that spot, and because I rehearsed it by moving, my body viscerally reminds me what the thought was, and then I remember and go from there. I will offer this. I do say to any of my clients, do not memorize the script unless you're doing a poetry slam. Don't memorize the script, because one word goes down and it's like dominoes after that. Better to have bullet points if you're going to have notes or index cards than a full script. And if you're reading from a teleprompter, be sure you have practiced with a teleprompter before you do it live in front of an audience, because it's not as easy as you might think. You said, and wait, okay, get it. Exactly.
Wow. Salvatore, I joked with the Italian names. I got your email. I said, oh, yeah, Salvatore. But the other thing you said in there, that you'd be eager to come on the show, and I like that. In addition to speaking and communication, the book writing, what are some of the other things you're eager about in your life? Some other things you're into?
Well, I am a full-time digital nomad, have been for 2 years now. I was for 3 years before COVID, and 7 years for a little bit before that. So most of my life has been in search of different cultures, different experiences. I wanna try the best chocolate out there. I want to find the absolute best coffee. And if I'm left to my own devices, you'll probably find me wandering in the redwoods, off trail, just in complete bliss, because that is my happy place and why I spent a lot of time in Northern California.
Yeah, and that's where you're at now. You're in Palm Springs. Is that Northern California?
I'm actually up in Nevada City, California. It's halfway between Tahoe and Sacramento. And it's in the Sierra Mountains, a little bit low. We do get snow, but not quite to the Tahoe ski fields kind of height. Now, Palm Springs is nice. That's way in the southern, and it's full desert, and it's this is the time to be there. I mean, I don't know when this is live. This is the time to go to Palm Springs. It's perfect. Yeah, it's like nice.
And you lived in Italy, correct? You did go to.
I did my time in Italy. Take me back. So happy.
You were teaching English as a second language in Italy.
I taught English as a second language, which was very confusing for my students, because I would walk in as Salvatore, your English teacher. They would be like, but I'd be like, I don't speak Italian. And they'd be like, no, wait, you are not. The irony too is when they first got in television introduced in Italy, and they started teaching grammar on television. It was Maestro Manzi was the English teacher, not English, but taught Italian grammar on television. So people would be like, Maestro Manzi is my English teacher, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't speak Italian. I do now, but yeah.
What part were you in? Where were you?
I was based in Milan for the first year,
yeah.
but I've traveled and been all over the country as well. Have you been to Italy?
I actually lived a year in Italy, Signor Marotta.
Marotta. You put the
I lived in an Italian convent in Tuscany.
In Tuscany?
They thought I was studying to be a priest. Padre.
I have no words. Where in Tuscany? Like Siena?
Right north of Siena, San Gimignano, the city of the towers.
San Gimignano, of course. Yeah, Santa Morata. I love it.
It was one of the best years of my life. New Year's Eve, 1999, we were in St. Peter's Square at midnight, and the Pope came out, at the turn there. It was fantastic.
What a moment.
It was.
Wow.
It was beautiful. Yeah.
I will say the European versus American culture, there's more of a social family, the life versus the work. American kind of gets caught up in the work and the go, and Italy and Europe is all about like, let's have a 4-hour dinner with our friends.
Yeah.
Like,
take a nap afterwards.
Yeah. All that cheese.
Salvatore, I believe all leaders are readers. I think it's important that we're continuing to grow. So what are you currently reading, and what have you learned from that reading?
I'm currently reading a detective miniseries just because it's fun. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of a more relevant.
Listen, I love John Grisham is my favorite on Audible, man. I listen to all his stuff.
I wish I was more prepared for this answer. I have a whole list of leadership books that I do go back and look at. Seth Godin's books are always a go-to for me. I don't know if you know him. He's a thought leader, and yeah, he has a daily blog that is quite inspiring as well. Yeah, if you give me a minute, I might come up with a better one, but
that's okay. I'm happy with that. How about a morning routine? You're on the West Coast there, but you got mornings there too. What's a morning success routine that you live by?
I love it because it feels like I should do the influencer intro. A lot of people have been asking me about my morning routine, and I want to finally share that with somebody. No, I meditate for 10 minutes. I do a 10-minute core exercise routine. I do a 15-minute journaling just to do like a mental throw up on the page. And then I do a blessing and invocation where I set my daily intentions and appreciations, and then my intentions for the day. All in, it takes about an hour. And that's, then I make my coffee. Mm.
You wait to have the coffee, huh? French press.
How'd you know? Yeah, French press.
I got you. You're very thorough.
French press, single origin, light roast. I'm all about it. Right now, I'm obsessed with getting the precise grind because the French press is, not quite the espresso and not the other kind. So like getting that perfect grind to get, it's a fun science for me. Yeah. I know.
And you were very defined about the time, though. 10 minutes of this, 15 minutes of that. Do you set a timer for the meditation?
I do. I set a timer, and yeah.
Wow. And when you meditate, sorry if this is too personal, but are you repeating a phrase, or are you just letting your mind drift, or are you telling yourself something?
I do different forms of meditation, and for anybody that's out there that's never meditated, what I didn't know is that there are many ways to do meditation. There's a walking meditation. There's a mindfulness eating meditation. Lots of things. I did a 10-day Vipassana meditation, which is a 10-day silent retreat. Never having meditated before, I went into this 10-day silent meditation retreat, and it blew me away. And it also trained me in the art of a quieting the mind and stillness meditation, form of meditation. I am not opposed to having a Tibetan bell ringing or something to focus the ear on. Or if a mantra is what feels useful in that moment, listening to a mantra or binaural beats. I don't know if you've listened to binaural beats, but like listening to binaural beats in the headphones to meditate the brain. I think all of them are great. I do the silent.
Very cool.
You meditate?
Friends, I don't. I'm intrigued. I got the pillow with the little, I don't want to say spikes, but the little, like little.
Are you sure this is meditation? Wait a minute. What magazine?
I like lay, and I lay on it. I breathe. But my wife does it. She says I should because I go too much. You know.
I mean, I would offer that. I mean, yoga can be a form of meditation. I was a yoga teacher for years. And when I'm in the poses and like in full mindfulness awareness of my drishti and my focus, then I feel that is a form of meditation. So I don't believe mindfulness has to be just sitting quietly and not thinking. It could be for you doing yoga or exercise or kickball. I don't know. What is your
Salvatore, anything else you wanted to share? You were fantastic. This was fun.
Thank you, Vid. I always like to share with people that you never know how far you can go until you've gone too far. So take a risk. Put your voice out there. Put yourself out there. You're going to fall on your face. You're going to make mistakes. I've certainly gone too far. And those are the learning moments that have defined me and helped me really realize just how far I can go. Don't stop. Keep going.
Well said, my friend. Salvatore Manzi. Salvatore, I can't get you out of here without rapid fire.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Quick things here, right? You're on stage. You just gave a great speech here, but we're going to go rapid fire. Are you ready?
Here we go.
Here we go. Last movie you saw?
Beauty and the Beast. I had never seen that before.
Like the original?
No, I saw it was actually a foreign version. It was great. It's a great story. Yeah.
Last concert you went to?
Less actual concert, the B-52s.
Love Shot. Last song you sang out loud in the car?
I'm not really a song karaoke singer. I can't. Oh, it's that The Weeknd. No, what's his name? Oh man,
The Weeknd?
No, not The Weeknd. I'm embarrassed that I can't think of it, but it's the happy song. Oh man, come back to this.
The name of the song is Happy?
The dancing. Sorry. No, bad.
That's okay. We'll give you a pass. You've lived around the world. You're an Italian. What's your favorite dish?
Gnocchi. Gnocchi con pesto, ma dai. Gnocchi con pesto es perfetto.
Salvatore, you mentioned chocolate. You mentioned gnocchi. You look quite fit. I'm not guessing that you got a big, tough belly below the screen here. You look very fit. How is gnocchi and chocolate your favorite food, but you're so fit?
Keto. I do a keto diet occasionally through the year for several weeks. And I do intermittent fasting to keep myself from going completely off the rails.
How long is that intermittent fasting for you?
14 to 16 hours a day. Yeah.
So you have dinner late or you have dinner early?
I have dinner early, which if you've never done intermittent fasting, that was the aha for me, is remembering to eat that dinner early and not overdo it. Not like, I'm not going to eat again for 14 hours and eat everything, but like have a normal dinner, but just a little bit earlier. And then, yeah. So
if you eat at 5 and then you waking up at 7, is that you get, that's your 14 hours then?
That sounds good. I usually don't start eating till about 11, and then I wrap it up around 5 p.m. So I eat 6 hours a day.
That is very smart there. You talked a lot about your wellness, the meditation. And if meditation is the answer, that's okay. But your go-to stress reliever?
Hiking. Get me in the forest, get me in nature. It just clears my mind, especially if there's trees. I find that if I'm in somewhat of a cover, I really find myself releasing all the stress.
Yeah. And the redwoods, like you said, I've been out there. I've seen them. And man, this is awesome. In 2025, I have fill in the blank.
In 2025, I have experienced a separation from the noise of current events.
You and a lot of other people. Yeah.
And what I mean by that, I've been able to separate like my attachment. Like I think 2024, I was addicted to the news cycle. And 2025, I was like, I need to keep healthy boundaries here, follow the news, but not stay addicted to it like I was.
Well, this might be your same answer then. In 2025, I have stopped fill in the blank.
2025, I have stopped eating 5 helpings of oatmeal for breakfast. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. In 2025, I have stopped listening to news 24/7 on all of the different channels.
Yeah. If you had a superpower, what would that be?
If I had a superpower, it would be to translocate. I would love to just be able to pop over to Rome, go for a walk, and then pop back into New York and have a nice cup of espresso, and then pop down to Mexico and have a nice little mezcal or something. Yeah, I mean, that would be my dream.
I love it. I love it. I'm going on stage here. I need some advice, man. This is the expert here. What's your go-to advice? Your number one advice you'd give a speaker?
Spot it, got it. If you see another speaker do something that you think is incredible, that means you have the ability to do it yourself. If you can spot it, then you've got it. All you got to do is try. So go into that moment on that stage, remembering somebody that you saw do something well, and emulate it.
That's interesting you say that. If you go back to the opening segment of the 3 F's there, you find the person, find out what they're doing, and follow what they do. Very interesting there. I like it. One thing you're curious about?
I'm curious to see how our current political divide is going to reunite, because I believe that we are destined to come back together as one nation and not be so divided.
Amen to that, my friend. Amen to that. Salvatore, you have been fantastic on the show. Friend, Salvatore's book is out. If you're a speaker, if you want to get better at speaking, you want to be a better communicator. I love the title there. Communication Strategies, Big Thinkers with Bold Ideas, Clear and Compelling. Salvatore Manzi, his website is in the chat there. Before we let you go, Salvatore, do you have a quote? Can you end the show with a quote here?
I'm going back to spot it, got it. If you have the ability to spot it, that means you have it. Just you got it. Go for it.
Well done, my friend. Salvatore, the website, best place to get in touch with you on social media. How can people follow what you're doing?
clearandcompellingplaybook.com or LinkedIn are the best places to find me.
Okay. Well, awesome. We are going to sign off on education, leadership, and beyond. This was Salvatore Manzi. You never know who you're going to meet in the world. And like he said, put yourself out there. That was one of the best emails I had gotten, Salvatore, asking to come on the show. And it came from you. And he said he was eager. And here we are. So I loved it.
Thank you, man. It's been an honor to be with you. Have a great night, everyone.
Buona fortuna. Thank you, Salvatore. We are going to sign off here on the podcast. Have a great night, everyone, and keep surviving and thriving.